Boruto is the main culprit behind the destruction of Konoha, and it took us 8 years to figure this out. The recent deal with the devil gives us an explanation for why Boruto appears so shabby with his clothes tattered in the first episode, while Kawaki is the total opposite, as if he appeared out of nowhere in the middle of the room. Well, I have cooked a really spicy theory that will shift your whole perspective on the flashforward scene. There are ways to awaken Momoshiki when Boruto is in control of the body, but is there any way to wake up the vessel after the monster takes over completely? Well, that's what we are about to find out. But first, to establish the base of it, we will need to go through some other hints which prove that it was Boruto, obviously under Momoshiki's control, who destroyed the village. So the very first hint to back this theory up comes from the very opening scene of episode 1. Just after this effect of the sword and the staff clashing, we got to see the Naruto face of the Hokage mountain, where Boruto and Kawaki are fighting each other. The whole village has turned to ruins, and this seems like a serious fight around the fate of the ninja world. But here is the twist. Even though Kawaki seems to be in the bad here, it's Boruto who's on the destroyed side of the Hokage rock, while Kawaki is standing on the lifted side, which is intact. So symbolically speaking, this could be a major hint that Boruto was the one responsible for Konoha's destruction, while Kawaki is the one who intervened and tried to stop him, on top of putting forward his own agenda. When the omnipotence twist got revealed, I thought to myself that this hidden detail in the opening scene could refer to the exchange of identities between the two, as Boruto still gets seen as a traitor, while Kawaki remains the honorable and only son of Naruto. But after implementing the new detail from chapter 25, things seem to make much more sense. Boruto and Momoshiki are going to have a deal that would decide the future of Konoha, and you won't believe how much sense it makes. But before that, if you enjoy gaming on your phone and also want to support my channel, then I have got the best deal for you. I recently discovered something that feels straight out of an anime war arc. Imagine humanity fighting for survival, not just against zombies, but with the actual titans like Godzilla and Kong tearing up the battlefield. Well, that's exactly what's happening in Doomsday Last Survivors, as they have teamed up with the epic new movie, Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire. This isn't just another mobile survival game, it's an online strategy survival, where you build up your shelter, manage survivors, and hold off the endless waves of zombies. But here is the twist. Now you also get to summon Godzilla and Kong into the fight, and not just as background decorations, as these titans actually fight alongside your troops, crushing enemies and changing the whole battle outcome. You start as a commander leading survivors, building a shelter, gathering resources and recruiting troops. Every choice, like who you ally with, how you build, can mean life or death for your people. What I personally liked about this game, beyond the base building and pattern battles, is the decisions that you make along the way. Sometimes you are faced with choices like whether to save a character or sacrifice them, and those choices actually impact how your journey would unfold. So if you want to lead your own survivors with Godzilla and Kong at your side, don't wait and download the Doomsday Last Survivors right now with the link in the description. You can also scan the QR on the screen, which is completely free as well. And let's get back to the video. Boruto being the destroyer of Konoha begins from the small yet simple deal which takes place in chapter 25. Kashinkochi had revealed to him that Jura is the monster who kills him in every possible future, which is how the hope for a better future dies. Now Boruto, using this knowledge, tried to shift the odds in his favor, first by having a neck-to-neck match with Jura, second by alerting Kawaki about the limiters that Amaru had installed in him so he could get more powerful early. But when all of it showed no results, he went to Momoshiki and offered him the control of his body in return of his Otsutsuki powers that he would use to defeat Jura. Now when we go a step further and look at how the events of the prologue connect with what's happening right now, some things start to make sense. So Boruto right now values the shinobi world over everything. He is driven to go as far as getting himself killed as a sacrifice for the ninja world, and that's exactly what he did when he asked Momoshiki for powers in return of giving away the control of his body. Boruto wants to die, and he believes that Kawaki would handle him just like last time if he ever goes berserk. But what if Kawaki just can't? I mean, think about it. Boruto and him together would somehow get rid of Jura. Then there is a mystery period which would make Kawaki think badly of the shinobi system. Followed by that, a few events would happen where Kawaki goes too far and does something that Boruto can't believe, and by the looks of it, it seems like he has destroyed Konoha. Now here comes the theory that I believe would change everything. Boruto, after finishing the mission of of defeating Jura, would let Momoshiki take over his body as he promised. Considering Borushiki would be too strong and would still have the vengeful demeanor, his most obvious move would be to go all out on Kawaki, particularly in Konoha or its surrounding areas. But I'm not saying Borushiki would specifically target Konoha and its people, which might force Boruto to gain back the control of his body. Instead, it could go somewhat like Borushiki going neck to neck with Kawaki, with the red karma wielder not being able to comprehend that how did Boruto give his body, one of the strongest vessels on the planet, to a self-serving Otsutsuki. Now we know when Boruto is in control, the only way to get Momoshiki out is by draining his chakra after somehow activating his karma. But once the body would permanently belong to Momoshiki, Boruto would go to eternal sleep, just like Momoshiki, and it would be pretty hard to wake him up. But as evident in the first episode, he does regain the control of his body, so something must have happened to push him that far. And here is my new interpretation on the conversation, which takes place in the prologue. After witnessing the dirty move that Boruto played by giving away the control to Momoshiki, Kawaki, who must have started to see the flaws in the shinobi system, must have done the unthinkable to bring out Boruto. He could use his Otsutsuki powers to turn the whole village to ruins after sending all the people to the dimension of Daikokuten. The reason this makes sense is because he knows Boruto won't be able to see this and would somehow take back the control from Momoshiki to stop him. After all, it's Boruto's body, so he decides how long someone would have the control of it. Momoshiki, even after gaining the master control, would still not become Boruto, since it was never his original body to begin with. He would again reduce to a parasite whenever the vessel decides to take away the control from him, and that's exactly what may have happened in the flash forward. The future sequence shows Boruto under control, fighting Kawaki, and all the destruction may have been done by the red karma wielder to teach a lesson to his counterpart. Ironically enough, while he was trying to make him realize that how he has done the worst mistake by giving Momoshiki the control, since he's a cunning monster, Kawaki himself has become what he feared Boruto to be by bringing an end to the ninja system. It goes a bit deep when you think about it. Both Boruto and Kawaki knew that Momoshiki is a liability who could bring a bad future upon everyone. Kawaki hates Otsutsukis from the core, and the whole reason behind him hating Boruto was because he was the vessel of Momoshiki. But when your counterpart makes the worst mistake of giving the sword to a monkey, let's say, if you are psycho enough, you might show him how bad of a decision that was by himself taking the sword in your hand to become the enemy of their beloved village and system. This would make them go through a series of trauma, making them realize that giving away the control was an impulsive decision, and now they have no choice left but to come back, since the Otsutsuki doesn't care about what Kawaki does with the shinobi world. Of course, he needs his body and all, but as Boruto made the promise to bring Kawaki back to light like a family, it was a no-brainer that he would just snatch away the control from the Otsutsuki to take matters in his own hands. The theory gets more strong as we move forward, and there are obviously a few gaps too that I will cover later in the video with an even mind-blowing speculation. First and foremost, Kawaki did not destroy the village solely to bring Boruto out. He just refused to kill Momoshiki so that Boruto could witness the destruction of the ninja world. It wasn't meant as a way to downgrade him, rather a small punishment for his sin of trusting an Otsutsuki. Otherwise, he could have just killed Momoshiki in his body and still continue with his plan afterwards. He just wanted Boruto to witness it since he sees him as a family. You heard that right. The reason I think so is because he wants to send him to the same place where he sealed Naruto, meaning Kawaki wants his entire family intact in a timeless dimension. Furthermore, what could have fueled his destructive plan could be the simple fact that Otsutsukis were responsible for the shinobi system. He would soon realize that this world becomes their target because of a divine tree that some Otsutsuki planted thousands of years ago, and it was only because of this race that chakra got misused by humanity, leading to some unending conflicts where peace became even harder to achieve. Hypothetically speaking, without a ninja system, there should have been far lesser deaths and conflicts on the planet. But since that's history and it cannot be changed, Kawaki could go on with the idea of creating his own ideal world for Naruto to live in. And to do that, he would first get rid of the shinobis, then the Otsutsukis, and finally he would run the same race that Shibai won, just to become an Otsutsuki god who would rewrite everything. so the family values thing would somehow hit Kawaki, most probably because he wants to see the whole Uzumaki household in his Daikokuten and visit them every now and then, just as shown in chapter 1 of Two Blue Vortex. It would give him a greater reason to strive more and fulfill his ultimate goal. From Boruto's POV, the Jura struggle was supposed to be his final conflict on this planet as the shinobi who's a singularity of fate. But once the unexpected happens and Kawaki doesn't kill Momoshiki, instead decides to go on his own rampage, well, that moment would be the breaking point for Boruto and he would need to get his body back from Momoshiki. Now the question remains, how exactly would he do it? Well, I have got an even exciting theory to explain that, which even explores how the Jogan awakens. So if you are not subscribed yet, make sure to do it right now. Also download the game that I have linked below, as these sponsors really help the channel to keep going. So Boruto, after giving away the control to Momoshiki, would hypothetically reach the same dimension-like place where the Otsutsuki was dwelling. In the anime, it was revealed that he has inherited some secret Otsutsuki power even before Momoshiki's takeover. So what if once he is thrown to that dark corner of his psyche, which is currently the home of Momoshiki, he could meet that entity who made him inherit that hidden Otsutsuki power, and that is Shibai. That's right. It could be similar to how Hogoromo contacted Naruto and Sasuke, but Boruto would likely have ample amount of time to discuss everything with the essence of the Otsutsuki god, who would then give him the Jogan to change his destiny by giving him a chance to correct his wrong moves. And looking at how everything is being set up, there is no other logical way for Boruto to awaken this power. So first he gets hijacked by Momoshiki as he gives away the full control, and then Kawaki decides to destroy Konoha, with Boruto helplessly watching from his body. Finally, after that, he would meet the spirit of Shibai, who would give him a mysterious power, something that even Kawaki is unaware of, and that's how we get to the battle of the first episode. Let me know if I should bring a full video on this Jogan theory. Till then, you can check out how the Pyara is linked to the moon in the right video, and I will see you next time.